23. I'm Pearson Bowen, and this is the CBC Morning Report. The diversity of the region's tourism product is such that the individual islands can help to promote each other. Just last Thursday, Prime Minister Mia Motley, at the naming of the ship Arva, made it clear that the islands must work together in the areas of airlift and cruising, and Grenada was here to launch some of its special products like the Chocolate Festival. Randall Dolan, chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, promoted airlift between the two countries.
We're promoting the ATR service with Inter-Caribbean. So that's a 48-seater ATR, a much bigger, comfortable plane. And that's going to be flying at least right now 11 times a week. So we are right now currently a double daily service, 4 days a week and once per day, 3 times a week. However, as the demand grows, we plan to get that demand back to twice daily at least per week, and then continue to expand our service 3 to 4 times daily. The fact is that since the pandemic and the closure of Liat 1974, we have not had adequate airlift on the route. So now that we have the capacity with this new aircraft and a new agreement, arrangement with partnership with Inter-Caribbean, we now expect to be able to build and grow that capacity back to post-pandemic levels in a profitable, sustainable way for the airlines and the destination.
He explained that early in the service there were some teething issues, but those have been worked out.
Right now, we started pretty much with one service per day on a 30-seater Embraer 120 plane. We had a lot of complaints back then about the size of the aircraft, the fact that it was not as comfortable, and also had a lot of maintenance issues at the time. This sort of compromised service. However, with this new aircraft, we no longer would have those issues. We have a lot more comfortable, a more comfortable experience on the travel over to Grenada, because that's important. You want to make sure that you're comfortable on a reliable service. And now with that service, they have the ability to increase demand as needed. So it's also important for the airlines to remain profitable and ensure that we're able to sustain the service. So as the demand grows, so will the airlift. So we'll put on the airlift as the demand continues to increase. Therefore, there should be no sort of issues with travel between Grenada and Barbados.
Well, Grenada, like many Caribbean territories, has started to rebound post-COVID. So although there's collaboration between nations, there's also competition.
Once restrictions were sort of lifted, the sort of COVID protocols, a lot of people were very happy to get on the planes. Because of that, you had a lot of our countries, our destinations vying for that travel. At the GTA, we actually did a pretty good job in sort of identifying the needs of the customers and sort of highlighting that to them as to how they could be attracted to the destination and see how we could differentiate ourselves from the rest of our competition. So we've done a great job with that, also increasing airlift. So we have a great airlift coming from the United States, reliable airlift from the United Kingdom. So we've continued to ramp that up. We continue to target our markets in our targeted source markets. And that also now includes Barbados and targeting an audience right here in Barbados who like a very quick trip to go to a destination close by and experience a totally different product from similar to what you offer here in Barbados. But again, it's a different sort of Caribbean island with a different flavor.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, international banking breathes a sigh of relief as Credit Suisse Bank is saved.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Today's Morning Barbados is sponsored in part by Troubadours International. Get ready for the Legacy Show on Saturday, March 25th at Halo Nightclub, St. Lawrence Gap, Christchurch. Sponsored by CBC TV8 and 94.7 FM.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC Newsnight at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Switzerland's largest bank, UBS, has agreed to buy the second largest bank, Credit Suisse, for $3.24 billion. It's a deal designed to contain a widening crisis of confidence in global finance.
The Swiss National Bank says it will ensure that both banks have access to the necessary liquidity to underpin this deal. The government has welcomed this agreement. Regulators were pushing for a deal to restore confidence in Credit Suisse before the financial markets open on Monday. Fears of contagion are running high after the collapse of US lenders Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank.
On Friday, the liquidity outflows and market volatility showed that it was no longer possible to restore the necessary confidence and that a swift and stabilizing solution was absolutely necessary. And this solution is the takeover of Credit Suisse by UBS. It is supported by the Federal Council following several meetings with the Swiss National Bank, with our regulator, the FINMA, with Credit Suisse and UBS. And the Federal Council welcomes this takeover and is supporting it by guaranteeing the framework conditions necessary for its success.
Let's get more on this now from Paul Brennan. He's been following a story. And so, Paul, this is a merger of two of Switzerland's biggest banks, but international players, really. Tell us more about the significance of this deal and how it's going to work.
We're hearing from the UBS chairman right now. He's saying all the right things as far as trying to restore stability to the markets. He's saying this is an integration rather than a takeover. He says it's building on the expertise of both. Enormous opportunities he's talking about, and UBS will remain rock solid. The other phrase that I've heard come up again and again in the earlier parts of the news conference when the members of the Swiss regulator and government were talking was too big to fail. That phrase again and again. Credit Suisse, one of the big 30 banks in the world, as is UBS. And frankly, if that had run into, well, if it'd been allowed to go under, then the ripples around the financial globe would have been extraordinary. The issue about Credit Suisse is that the outflow of funds was just getting unmanageable. Some 10 billion Swiss francs a day were being taken out of the bank by depositors in the past week. And as a result, the Swiss authorities knew that they had to do something.
Chinese President Xi Jinping will be in Russia from today for a state visit after he was invited by President Vladimir Putin. The two-day trip comes as Beijing offers to broker peace in Ukraine, an effort that has been met with skepticism in the West, given China's diplomatic support for Russia.
Xi Jinping has visited Russia 8 times since becoming Chinese president. His most recent trip was in June 2019, during an economic forum. Xi will travel there again this week, in what's expected to be a major show of Chinese support for Moscow as it continues its invasion of Ukraine.
With China and Russia working together, the world will have the driving force toward multipolarity and a greater democracy in international relations. And a global strategic balance and stability will be better ensured.
The visit comes as China seeks to expand its role as a global leader and mediator. Earlier this month, it brokered a deal to end 7 years of strained relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Some analysts believe it can do the same for Russia and Ukraine. In February, Chinese officials released a peace plan calling for a ceasefire and dialogue between both sides.
The Chinese understanding is, after several months, both parties are exhausted and they want to have the forum to start peace talks. China can offer that, and no other country can do that.
But others say Beijing is reluctant and unable to play this role due to the West's extensive backing of Kiev.
It is great power geopolitics going on there. It's very difficult to play a mediating role in that context, and the stakes are very high. Russia and Ukraine do not want to negotiate at the moment, so there's very little China can play with.
Beijing relies on economic trade with Europe and says it's impartial in the war, but its claims of neutrality have been questioned. Last year, Xi declared a no-limits partnership with Moscow. Expanding trade between the two countries has become an economic lifeline for the sanctioned country. Xi and Putin are also good friends and have met 40 times, including on Putin's birthday. The United States says China is considering providing military support to Russia, which Beijing denies.
Xi is reportedly planning to speak to Volodymyr Zelensky following his Moscow visit. It would be Xi's first conversation with the Ukrainian president since hostilities broke out. Kiev says it's cautiously receptive to Beijing's involvement, but a withdrawal of Russian forces from any occupied territory must be included in any peace deal.
Well, coming up at 6:30 on Morning Barbados, Open Week continues on the KFL campus of the University of the West Indies. This time it's the turn of the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. We'll walk through it with you to share with you some of the exciting programs on offer for study in that area as well. The Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados is about to launch again its financial literacy program. We'll get the details this morning, and this morning as well we'll continue our conversation looking at the language of love. We'll continue to break it down with our relationship coach. Those and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados. The CBC Morning Report continues in just a moment.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day, and join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know?
Technical officials in the Ministry of Transport Works and Water Resources says there will be no piecemeal approach to the road repairs at White Hill, St. Andrew. They say that when the roadworks are complete, there will be no need for any more work for a number of years. The commitment was given at a recent town hall meeting at the Ebenezer Pentecostal Church at White Hill. It was also indicated there that the project will bring job opportunities for residents aged 18 to 55. Representative for the constituency, Dr. Rommel Springer, says it's imperative that the workmen be drawn from the community.
The labor force for this work, for the construction of this road at White Hill, is going to be drawn from the local community. You have already seen young people from this community working. I think we have at least 5 young people from this community already working on this project. And if need be, we will pull more from the community. But you're going to build your own road. White Hill people will build their own road as much as possible.
White Hill Road broke away 9 years ago, forcing residents to use some steps as an alternative, which they complain have no lighting at night. Noting that people fall during heavy rain, they asked Dr. Springer about the possibility of temporary lighting until the road is finished.
Let me just empathize with you. I understand it's difficult having to traverse that breakaway section. We did what we could as a government to make it a bit less treacherous in terms of the installation of the steps, and certainly light would improve. At some point I would have secured some lights from the Barbados Lighting Power, but that was only a temporary measure. The difficulty with us and installing temporary lights or lights in that area is that the security really. But I hear you, and really and truly the solution is to get the actual realignment of the road as quickly as possible so that we can move away from walking through that area altogether.
Deputy Chief Technical Officer Philip Tudor has outlined for the residents how the roadworks would be done to ensure it will last.
It's about 3 kilometers long, and the way the work is going to be done, looking after the drainage, looking after all aspects of the work, of the road work that will more or less assist the residents along here getting a fully complete and safe road that will last for years to come.
A shot fired with deadly consequences in the United States has hit close to home for cultural ambassador, Dr. the Most Honorable Anthony Carter. The shooting took the life of his 20-year-old grandson Darius Clark, who was gunned down in Queens during a daytime robbery at his workplace. Reports indicate 3 people entered the store on Jamaica Avenue just after midday. A number of shots were fired and Clark was struck in the chest. Gabby says he was writing a song called Mass Murder in America for another artist when one of his daughters called and notified him of the incident. The veteran entertainer shared some of his fond moments and memories of Darius.
Everybody likes to say how my son was just a big daughter, but he was really a cool, quiet fella. He didn't talk much. You knew how he felt about you by the way he looked at you or what he would do. He would rather do than say. So, when he was here, I remember it was a day I said, geez, I want to go in the fridge and get this thing. And I didn't ask him. I'm going to get it. He said, Granddad, look, it's on the table. I said, wow. So you heard when I was, yeah, it's all right. And that was it. He didn't talk much at all. So I was real happy. I didn't see him for 6 years. I was planning to go up there after my show to look for them because my show is on the 29th at 3.
Well, Gabby has expressed his thanks to everyone who called from across the country and abroad to express their condolences. He has called for an end to gun violence.
People don't understand really lost like that. Is like really lost. And his grandmother died down here just a few years ago. Similar, so she just said, put down your gun, man, make this, and the man shot her. That don't get his business. So it's like, lost his grandmother, then you lose him. And a cousin of his got killed in Dayland on Tuesday. Same violence, same gun business. You always hear me talk. I wrote a song years ago called Gun Town for Miguel, and we're witnessing it today.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force is again warning content creators to desist from pranking members of the public, advising such actions can have adverse effects on all parties involved. In recent weeks, several videos have surfaced of young men recording fake robberies at ATMs and accosting civilians in different scenarios. CVM TV reports.
For many Jamaicans, being robbed in broad daylight is a very real possibility. This reality, however, has not hindered a group of young men who attempted to rob people as a prank for social media content. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is reminding individuals that this practice is dangerous, inconsiderate, and can constitute an offense in law.
The circumstances of the prank will determine whether it can be viewed as an offense once reported, and a range of offenses may be committed. It should also be noted that in circumstances where a report is made and the police have expended resources to investigate a matter that turns out to be a prank, charges can be laid for creating public mischief.
Detective Corporal Mullings says other charges may include assault, breach of peace offenses under the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022, and manslaughter.
In the event that a prankster's reckless, unlawful, and deliberate behavior leads to the injury or loss, including loss of life, of a victim, the circumstances will dictate what legal implications will flow. For example, if a prankster pretends to be robbing a person, causing such fright that a heart attack is induced and the person dies, then the prankster may have committed the offense of manslaughter.
The police are urging pranksters to desist from partaking in such actions while encouraging victims to make formal statements to facilitate their investigations.
Again, we urge you to desist from creating fear and mayhem within our society. And we also invite members of the public who are so impacted to report these matters so that persons can be arrested and charged.
Nearly half of the shares of Skyport, the company that operates Bermuda's L.F. Wade International Airport, have been sold to a Canadian-based investment firm. The $128.5 million deal will see investment firm CC&L Infrastructure take a 49.9% minority interest. Aecon will remain the majority shareholder at 50.1%. The deal is set to close by summer.
Aecon is selling almost half its shares in Skyport, but no staff changes are expected. The $128.5 million deal will see Canadian investment firm CBC Infrastructure take a 49.9% minority interest in the company that runs LF Wade International Airport. Aecon will remain the majority shareholder at 50.1%. The deal is set to close by summer. A Skyport press release said, quote, "There will be no operational, management or staff changes at the airport as a result of the transaction," end quote. Skyport chairman Steve Nakan said the deal is a vote of confidence in Bermuda's post-pandemic recovery and tourism growth. He said, quote, "We are pleased to have come to an agreement with CC&L Infrastructure. Aecon remains committed to Bermuda and Skyport," end quote. Skyport President Aaron Adderley said they look forward to working with CC&L to build on the existing partnership with Aecon. Mr. Adderley said, quote, "We have benefited from working with an experienced airport concessionaire and are pleased to expand on that," end quote. Matt O'Brien, president of CC&L Infrastructure, said the investment is consistent with their strategy of investing in high-quality, long-duration assets in credit-worthy jurisdictions. He added, quote, "The LF Wade International Airport is an excellent example of a resilient, durable asset with potential for growth as passenger traffic recovers in the wake of COVID-19," end quote. Skyport was set up by Aecon in 2017 to run and maintain airport operations and coordinate the airport redevelopment project over the 30-year concession term. The new airport building opened in December 2020. The Skyport release stated that to date, over $425 million of private capital investments have been made in the airport redevelopment project. The deal with Aecon to build the airport had a minimum revenue guarantee backed by government. Due to the pandemic downturn in tourism, government has had to pay out $50 million to date.
The death toll in Southeast Africa owing to the exceptionally long-lasting tropical cyclone Freddy has risen to 522. That statistic has been released as aid has started to arrive in Malawi.
It's been a 5-day wait, and finally, help has arrived.
It's been very painful waiting for a boat to get to the mainland, because here there is no food. We are very hungry.
Among those waiting to be saved is Fatima Fred and her child.
It's by the grace of God that we are alive, because our friends were taken by the water. Our friends are dead.
There are dozens more stories like these in Makanga in central Malawi. The area lies between two large rivers, and heavy rain and winds from Cyclone Freddy have caused intense flooding, cutting its people off from food, water, electricity and health facilities. Farmland and crops had been devastated. A rescue operation is being run by police, but it's limited. They say they're doing whatever they can. They have some support from the UN's World Food Programme, or WFP.
Currently, we are operating with only 2 boats from the WFP against a huge number of people that want to be evacuated to Bangula, which is an upland.
Joyce Johanna is cooking the last of her maize. She tells us she survived powerful floodwaters by tying her children to tree branches because she could not hold on to both of them at the same time. The boats will go back and forth for days to come. So far, 1,300 people have been rescued and many others are waiting. But they are victims of the flooding who refuse to leave their homes. Like those in this village. They want to stay with their families and what they know. In the town of Bangula, the situation is only just improving. But people desperate for refuge continue to arrive, clinging to the few possessions they've managed to save. But Bangula is also cut off from surrounding towns and cities. But after 3 cyclones in 18 months, people in this district are quickly adjusting. And just as quickly are beginning to rebuild with the little they have.
Now to sports. Barbadian driver Zane Maloney finished 17th as Danish Frederik Vesti took his first win of the Formula 2 season in style, claiming victory in Saudi Arabia. Meantime, in Formula 1 action, Sergio Perez impressively held off teammate Max Verstappen's charge from 15th on the grid to seal a Red Bull 1-2 at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
He's been under pressure throughout. He had to overtake Fernando Alonso after losing the lead at the start, but he comes out of the final corner as the first driver to see the flag for the 5th time in Formula 1. Sergio Perez wins. It's Perez on top at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. It's a Red Bull 1-2, but who's your championship leader? The answer across the line is Max Verstappen, who takes the final lap on the last tour to maintain the championship lead by taking the bonus point for fastest lap. Perez with the win, Verstappen with the championship lead. What a moment for Sergio Perez, out of the car and delighted to win. 1 year later, he has finished the job.
Well, F1's round 3 is set for Melbourne, Australia on April the 1st. Now let's take a look at weather conditions. Forecast conditions recorded earlier at the Met Office at 6 o'clock. 25.2 degrees Celsius under partly cloudy conditions with a slight haze. And the winds are coming from the east-southeast briskly at 45 kilometers an hour. If you're heading to the seas today, it will be moderate in open water, swells ranging from 1.5 to 2.5 meters. A small craft and high surf advisory is in effect for above normal sea swells. Barbados today, partly sunny with a few brief isolated light showers. Barbados tonight, partly cloudy with a few brief isolated light showers. And now a look at some forecast conditions for some international cities. And that's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning.
Indeed, morning to you everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Monday at the start of a brand new week. It is Monday the 20th of March 2023. I'm Pearson Bowen welcoming all of you here, there and literally everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us on our streams on YouTube and also on Facebook. Now today being the 20th of March means we are just hours away from when we rock our socks, because tomorrow is World Down Syndrome Awareness Day, and so we want to encourage as many of you as possible tomorrow to wear your multicolored socks to show your support for those little ones who are Down syndrome. And so get your Rock the Socks, multicolored socks indeed, and tomorrow you will take your pictures while you rock your socks, as these little ones are sharing with us, and you will send those pictures to us at Mornin Barbados at cbc.bb. So multicolored. You don't have to it can be mix and match. It doesn't matter. Just multicolored to show your support for children with Down syndrome. Tomorrow we are rocking our socks. They are delightful children, and I want you to lend your support to the campaign to continue to raise awareness. When you rock your socks tomorrow, get out today and get your multicolored socks for the little toddler right through to the adult, and rock them. Take your pictures. And remember to send your pictures to us at Mornin Barbados at cbc.bb. Mornin Barbados at cbc.bb. We will ourselves wear our multicolored socks tomorrow. So what will you wear? You will be rocking your socks tomorrow as we share in the campaign to raise awareness for Down syndrome. So tomorrow is the big day. Today is the day, though, to get your socks if you don't already have them. Let's make it fashionable. But in making it fashionable, let's have that conversation about Down syndrome awareness, because do it with, not for. And that's the whole theme, the whole effort of Down Syndrome Awareness Day tomorrow. So more on that tomorrow, but take your pictures, okay? Coming up today, we'll meet the powerhouse between the Right PR agency. She is powerful. They're marking their 3rd anniversary, and so we'll get to talk to her about her journey thus far. Trevor Wilkinson is a singer-songwriter, and he has a brand new song which we will get to hear and enjoy today as well. Ideas, not theories, bicycle beats. Right away you get the idea, right? The Bridgetown International Festival of Arts is on, and certainly we'll meet the artist behind that particular one. Ideas, not theories, bicycle beats. That and a whole lot more straight ahead. We'll continue to break down the language of love with our relationship coach. Do you understand what it is? It's much more than words. And so we want to pay close attention to how else you can communicate lovingly, and our relationship coach will share that with us. The Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados is about to launch again its financial literacy courses, and it's for women, and we'll share with you the details about how you can benefit from it. But Open Week continues at the KFL campus of the University of the West Indies as they continue to mark their 60th anniversary of contribution to education in Barbados in so many different areas. And so as we look now through the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts this morning, we're happy to say good morning to David Akombo, the Dean of the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. He's also a professor in music education and interdisciplinary musicology. With him is Carlos Springer-Hunt, our friend, the manager of the Arabaro Center for Creative Imagination. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
As always, thank you so much for joining us. The exciting works continue at the KFL campus of the University of the West Indies. I'll start with you, David. Talk to me a little bit about the range on offer, of subjects on offer. And I know that you're now going specifically into music as well.
Thank you very much for having us today. We are very pleased to be here to share with you and the audience in this event on what we offer in our Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts, which was established as the 7th faculty at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus, with effect from 1st of August of 2020. The faculty houses 2 departments as follows: the Department of Creative and Performing Arts, headed by Mr. Andrew Millington, and the Department of Cultural Studies, headed by Dr. Yannick Hume. The Department of Creative and Performing Arts offers degrees leading to BFA in Creative Arts, BFA in Dance, BFA in Music Special, BA in Music with minor in Education, and an MA in Creative Arts. It also offers short courses that lead to certification, such as the one jointly with the National Cultural Foundation, Certificate in Barbados Landship for Teachers. The Department of Cultural Studies is predominantly a postgraduate department offering MA in Cultural Studies, MPhil in Cultural Studies, and a PhD in Cultural Studies. But in addition, it also offers a BA in Caribbean Studies with minors in several areas across other faculties. It also offers short summer courses that lead to certification. The Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts has a very, very robust vision and mission. The vision of the FCCPA, as we call it, is to be a vibrant, creative and intellectual hub and global leader in research and practice of Caribbean culture and the arts. And the mission of FCCPA is to provide student-centered teaching invested in the decolonization of knowledge while promoting the integration of the theory and practice of arts and culture, thus sustaining a dynamic, innovative, and creative environment for the future of the Caribbean and beyond. In a nutshell, that's who we are, and I'm very happy to share with you all these good things that are happening in our new Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts.
And it sounds very, very exciting indeed. You know, Carla, there was a time when people look at the creative arts and they thought, oh, that was just for fun. And now here we are, we have an opportunity now to not just have the fun with the creative arts, but to formalize our education in it. What a distance we've come.
Quite a distance we've come. It's no longer extracurricular activity where you leave your kids after school until you're ready to pick them up from work. We are making strides in Barbados, and we have been for a long time, but I think people are now noticing how impactful the arts are on everyday life. So we at the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts are making sure that our young people, our older people too, like you, Pearson, can come and do a degree in performing arts. We're making sure that they're well equipped, not just for life here in Barbados, but to continue throughout the world in their different disciplines.
And that's
so
it.
we're proud of that.
And there are different disciplines. We have such a variety of disciplines on the island, and now through the education at the KFIL campus, you're able to hone a lot of those disciplines and make them almost globally ready. So Carla, talk to me about how that happens when one enrolls really in the faculty. How do you move from being almost the amateur to semi-professional?
Our lecturers are really very good, and we're proud to have all of our students there. We go through rigorous rehearsals, and there's also a lot of theory involved in it as well. Coming up in April and May, we have our final examinations. I mean, we probably have to come back and talk about that, but we do have our final examinations where our students showcase all the work that they've been doing for the past year or sometimes last 3 years, because we do have those students who are doing their capstone. And this culminates in all that they have been learning at the faculty at the University of the West Indies. And it's quite impactful because you see young people come in first year, and they can dance, they can perform, they can play. Then you see them broaden, and you can see them grow, and you can see how effective the learning process has become. And at the end of the year, when they're doing their final performance exams, you see it's almost like a coming from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
Yes.
You see them emerge, and the performances, so the performances are not just what they've learned, but the things that they've created in their heads and they put on the stage. So that is always exciting to see. And I'm sure I'll be back to talk about that later on in the year. But it's very exciting to see. As a manager of the facilities, I sit back and I watch, and I can't believe sometimes these are the same students who came in the first year, and seeing how they've blossomed and they've grown tremendously over the 3-4 years.
And then there's so many other aspects to the creative and performing arts, the support team that comes along with it. While we may see the singer or the actor, there are the production elements as well. And is that part of the teaching at the university as well?
Yes, it is. It is part of we need to do a little bit more though, but it is part of our curriculum as well, because within their final year they have to do encompass what they've learned. So it's not just about the performance element of it, it's the budgets and the dealing with the technical teams, etc. So they have to be a well-rounded individual once they come to that stage. So they leave us knowing how to produce, how to create, how to put things on stage, how to prepare themselves for the outside world. So we're pleased with the Faculty of Culture, and we're looking for this open week where we can share with students from secondary schools as well as the general public on what we're doing there at the faculty.
Speaking of which, David, this is where you perhaps can come in and help us. So it's open week. How can we come in and share and know more in this open week about what's happening in the FCCPA?
Absolutely. So this week we have the FCCPA Open Week. We are showcasing our programs, and we welcome you to come and join us during the CSEC session, for example, on Wednesday, March the 22nd, where we shall explore the musical aspects of our programs. We have the brass quintet from the Barbados Police Service Band performing 2 of my musical compositions and several of their own compositions. We will also have leading music teachers in Barbados with us, including Mr. Laurie Worrell, who will be speaking about being a musical director and management of band and artists. And then we also have Mr. Panel Farley, who will be speaking about musicianship and technical skills. We also have Mr. Randy Eastmond, who will be speaking on careers in music production that you have just been talking about with Mrs. Springer Hunt, how money is made in the music industry. So we have a lot of exciting things. We invite you and the public and the students and their parents to experience what we have to offer here in our Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts. And of course, we have many other events on Friday. Mrs. Springerhand can talk to that. And we have very exciting programs going on.
Indeed. So, Curtis, your turn. Talk to me about what's happening on Friday.
Well, I don't want to get to Fridays as yet. I want to go back to Wednesday. We also have in-class sessions where the students visiting us, and this was done via the Ministry of Education. The students visiting us can go and sit in on classes. So we have contemporary dance class, which will be going on. We also have musical theater. And we're encouraging the students to come and take part. They'll be with our students and they'll be taking part in some of the classes, or maybe they'll just be watching what's happening. And we also have screening of some of our student films as well in our Cinematheque. And while we don't quite have visual arts as yet at the faculty, we do have one of our lecturers who will come in and speak about the visual arts and its impact on the film industry. We have some students who will be coming in to talk about their experiences at the faculty and at the University of the West Indies. You know, the young people coming in always want to hear the gossip about the faculty, etc. So we have our students coming not to gossip, but to tell them about the great experiences they've had at the faculty. And in the evening, after they have lunch, because they're going to spend the whole day with us, we're making sure they feel nice and warm and welcome. We're going to have a short performance time where we get to see our dance ensemble. We have some of our students performing music, and we have a choreography presentation from our students. So it's their own choreographies that they're going to be showcasing. Let me go back a little bit.
And that's
to
Wednesday?
Monday. That's on Wednesday the 22nd. Yes, and that's for early. So we have the students for the entire day.
Yes.
And as I said before, this is we've done it all through the Ministry of Education. We'd like to say thanks to them as well. On Monday, March the 20th, we have postgraduate programs and their information session, and that's in our Cinematheque at 5 p.m. On Thursday, we have a panel discussion, the role of festivals in our Caribbean communities, how to keep it going. That's also in our Cinematheque on Thursday the 23rd at 5 p.m. And on Tuesday, March 21st, we have a very special day as we celebrate World Poetry Day. We've been doing it for a few years. This year, we're in association with the U.S. Embassy, and we'll be featuring the works of Cindy Celeste. And because it is Faculty Week, Open Week, we're also showcasing the work of some of our alumni, some of our current students, and one or two of our good friends in the faculty. So and that's at 7 p.m. in the Walcott Warner Theatre. So we're inviting everyone out. All of these events are free to the public, and we want you to come and share with us, see what we do there, and have a good time. On Friday, we are going to have a little meltdown meltdown yes, where our students, our faculty, our friends from on the main campus, because we're across the road, so we have to cross the road, and we're inviting everyone to come. I think it starts around 3 o'clock. And we're just going to enjoy, play music. Our dancers are going to dance. Our thespians will be there. Our filmmakers will be behind the camera, making sure that they take all the shots. And Dina Combo promises to sing for us. We'll wait and see how that works out. But but we plan to just open the faculty and the Arabara Center for Creative Imagination and let everyone come and enjoy what we have in store. But we're particularly looking forward to having the students come on Wednesday the 22nd to share with us, because I think that's important for them to see. A lot of them are doing music, they're doing theater. They don't do dance, but a lot of the students who do dance with the official dance companies in Barbados should also be there to take part. I mean, and you don't even have to, you may just enjoy music, but you could dance. You do enjoy dancing. So you can cross over between the two. So you can be in the Walcott Warner doing the music, and then you can decide, let me go and check out and see what they're doing in musical theater. And you can do that. Feel free to roam the campus. We're going to do some tours as well so that you can see exactly where you would be going when you come to the Faculty of Culture, Creative Imagination.
Yes.
Sorry, Faculty of Creative, it's so many names. Barbados
Yes,
Center for
yes.
Creative Imagination and Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts, so that you can see exactly where you're going to be when you come to us, hopefully in September.
Yeah, it's really quite a week indeed, and I love the fact that you've got it spread right throughout the week and on different days. But today, it starts with an opportunity for everyone to know what are the degree programs that are available in the FCCPA. So today you log in and visit and ask all of your questions. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the Warner Walcott Theatre, oh, there's going to be quite an explosion in there as well. Thursday is going to be a really good day. That I think at 5 o'clock, that sit down, discuss the cultures of the Caribbean and how we look at carnivals and its impact and whether they're dying or growing, how we can change and evolve. All of those things at 5 o'clock on Thursday sound really, really good. Of course, Wednesdays, all day, we're going to roam the campus and be a part of it indeed. And then Friday, David Acombo is going to sing for you. Some other performers are going to be there. So visit the Gayfield campus. That's the promise, right, David?
I say we shall have a lot of activities, for we are culture, we are creative, and we are artists.
Well said indeed. I want to thank both of you. Wish you well all week long with everything that's happening there in the Faculty of Culture, Creative and Performing Arts in this year open week, and I wish you every success with all of them. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Pearson,
You're
for
very
having us.
welcome. Take
Have
care
a good
now.
day.
Likewise, David Acombo, who's the Dean of the Faculty of Culture, along with Carla Springer-Hunt, the manager of the Arrow Center for Creative Imagination. We're taking a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 9.5 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. The Barbados Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados are having their second iteration of a financial literacy program. And so joining us to look at it and all the benefits that will derive therefrom is Marlene Hewitt, who is the president of the Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados, a member with her, Marianne Burnham. Thank you both for joining me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning indeed. Marlene, I'll start with you. Explain for us a little bit about why the club exists and what it is that you're seeking to do through this financial literacy program.
The club is part of an international organization, and this morning, Marianne, who is the PRO, will tell you a bit more about the club.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So the Business and Professional Women's Club is a women's empowerment organization. It's been around since 1967. We were doing education sessions and conferences on women's development things for several years. And last year, we started the financial literacy program for low-income women, or I would say women in general. So that is a bit about BPW Barbados. And of course, we run the shelter for battered women. We've been running that since 1999. We have a BPW crisis hotline. And in general, we are overall women's empowerment organization. So we focus on uplifting women.
You're doing this again, which says that when you did it the first time, you saw the need to do it again. What's that need you saw, and to explain why you did it again?
When we had it the first time, we thought we would get around 30 persons, and we were shocked that we got, without much advertising, just a flyer we sent out, we actually had 70 persons signed on and attended the course. Our average was about 54. So we realized that, hey, there's definitely a need for this. And the ladies who came on asked us if we would have it again next year. They had friends, they had sisters, they had cousins who wanted to attend. So we decided to put it on again, have it as our annual course.
And so you're trying to uplift women who are what we consider low income, who are struggling at some point in time, and they need that assistance in being able to manage themselves financially, and that's what we want to focus on now. So walk me through this financial literacy program that you're launching yet again. What's going to be happening?
We are going to focus on areas such as, people think money is shrouded in mystery. And we usually hear things like money is the root of all evil. And people don't want to handle it. And they don't usually want to hear about it and sit down and talk to each other. So we are going to look at it in a completely different way. When you go to school, you learn about money. You even learn how to sew on a button. Important. The second week, what does a budget mean to each woman? Because you need to have a budget if you want to know where your money is going. What is a budget and the different types of budgets? Making a budget and sticking to it. I think this is the hardest part, developing that discipline, that even if you fall off the wagon, you will get back on and you will start your budget all over again. You will start to see where your money is going. You'll keep a record. Then that is followed by savings. Developing a savings habit. You have to keep at it. You have to do something that would make you save automatically before having to think about it, before going and taking off the few pennies that you've already saved. Creating an emergency fund. Things happen. A rainy day happens. It can't be dry all the time. The types of savings there is available. Are they at the banks, at the credit unions? What about a meeting term? That helps you save, and then you can also divide that money, take some for yourself, put some in a savings plans. Most people don't understand too much about interest rates and compound interest, so we will be going into a bit of that so that you understand if you put your money here, it may grow better than if you put it somewhere else. The fourth week, the worst thing, debt, credit card debt. We want to teach you about understanding the interest rates, the late fees that are charged, why you should not always pay the minimum payment. Hire purchase. Do you really understand what they're telling you? Is it what it appears? You know, they give you all this time off 2-3 months before you pay. Is it that you're still paying the same amount or more? Loans. Do you need a loan for crop over, to go to carnivals, for Christmas, for holidays? Should you look at saving for these things rather than getting a loan? How do you handle, if you do get into debt, how do you handle the bailiff? Coming, knocking, calling every minute. The fifth week, we're going to look at rental agreements, management of rental agreements, or knowing about mortgage. What's the fine print? What are you really getting into when you sign that rental agreement and you have to pay that money up front? And that's entrepreneurship and money management. If you're starting a business or have a business, how do you manage that money? You must manage that money. Otherwise, you definitely will go to business. So those are the 6-week program that we will be offering.
So Marianne, it runs over 6 weeks, and I'm sure there are women sitting down saying, you know, I want to grab hold of that, the benefits that derive therefrom. How can they be a part of it?
Well, for sure, they can go to our website at BP Barbados, at our Facebook at BP Barbados, BPW Barbados Club. They can email us at bpwbarbadosonline@gmail.com. That's a little long. Or they can call or text us at 2805068. If you text us your name and your email address, we'll respond with the online registration sheet and information about the program, Of course, we're offering this program via Zoom, so all of the login information will be shared. So they can find us on Facebook or on our website at BPW Barbados Club or bpwbarbados.com, or they can email or text us at call or text us at 2805068. Text us your information and we'll respond with all of the registration information. And there'll be some flyers online, etc., and you can look for them and you can sign up with us.
All right, folks, that number is 280-5068. 280-5068. You can call or you can text and they'll respond to you to help you register and benefit from this. When does it start?
It goes from starts on April 16th, Tuesday. Tuesday, April 16th.
Okay, Tuesday. So we have some time. We have some time. Not a lot of time, but we do have some time. Would you believe it? March is almost finished. But before it finishes, you can log in and you can get your sign up and you can be a part of it. Is there a cost to it?
No, it's free. We don't charge for any of our programs.
We love those 4 letters, F-R-E-E, free, indeed. And it's open to women of all ages and stages because it's going to empower you financially. And so we want to encourage as many women as possible to log in, to get to know it, to sign up, to be a part of it indeed. So you can call or text 280-5068, 280-5068. You can also go onto their social on Facebook. It is BPW Barbados on Facebook. Or you can just tell me, what's the other one? I don't recall. It's right down your screen.
Barbados, right, www.bpwbarbados.wordpress.com or at BPW Barbados Club on Facebook, or you can call us. So when you put into BPW Barbados in Google, whatever information pops up, you contact us at that or look for our flyers online and you give us a shout.
Wonderful. It starts on the 16th of April. So let's get cracking, ladies, and let's get this done. Thanks to both of you, Marianne Burnham, a member, and Marnie Hewitt, the president of the Barbados Business and Professional Women's Club of Barbados. Thank you very much.
You can say BPW Barbados.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish you every success with this upcoming financial literacy program indeed. And I hope that many, many people do subscribe to surprise you by their numbers and be a part of it and benefit substantially from it as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome indeed.
Bye-bye.
All right, Morning Barbados continues right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
It's here, fun and excitement at the Science and Technology Festival under the graduation tents at the University of the West Indies Cafel campus, March 16th to 18th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Get immersed in sensational hands-on activities. Take off in our professional flight simulator. Try the latest in the world of artificial intelligence. Come and learn robotics and video.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
A minute and a half after 7 o'clock, the diversity of the region's tourism product is such that the individual islands can help to promote each other. Just last Thursday, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, at the naming of the cruise ship Arvia, made it clear that the islands must work together in the areas of airlift and cruising. And Grenada was here. They were here to launch some of their special products like the Chocolate Festival. Randall Dolan, chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, promoted airlift between the two countries.
We're promoting the ATR service with Inter-Caribbean. So that's a 48-seater ATR, a much bigger, comfortable plane. And that's going to be flying at least right now 11 times a week. So we are right now currently a double daily service, 4 days a week and once per day, 3 times a week. However, as the demand grows, we plan to get that demand back to twice daily at least. per week, and then continue to expand that service 3 to 4 times daily. The fact is that since the pandemic and the closure of Lee at 1974, we have not had adequate airlift on the route. So now that we have the capacity with this new aircraft and a new agreement, arrangement with partnership with Inter-Caribbean, we now expect to be able to build and grow that capacity back to post-pandemic levels in a profitable, sustainable way for the airlines and the destination.
He explained that early in the service there were some teething issues, but those have been worked out.
Right now, we started pretty much with one service per day on a 30-seater Embraer 120 plane. We had a lot of complaints back then about the size of the aircraft, the fact that it was not as comfortable, and also had a lot of maintenance issues at the time, sort of compromised service. However, with this new aircraft, we no longer would have those issues. You have a lot more comfortable, a more comfortable experience on the travel over to Grenada, because that's important. You want to make sure that you're comfortable on a reliable service. And now with that service, they have the ability to increase demand as needed. So it's also important for the airlines to remain profitable and ensure that we're able to sustain the service. So as the demand grows, so will the airlift. So we'll put on the airlift as the demand continues to increase. Therefore, there should be no sort of issues with travel between Grenada and Barbados.
Technical officials in the Ministry of Transport, Works and Water Resources say there will be no piecemeal approach to the road repairs at White Hill St Andrew. They say that when the road works are complete, there will be no need for any more work for a number of years. The commitment was given at a recent town hall meeting at the Ebenezer Pentecostal Church at White Hill. It was also indicated that the project will bring job opportunities for residents aged 18 to 55. Representative for the constituency, Dr. Rommel Springer, says it's imperative that the workmen be drawn from the community.
The labor force for this work, for the construction of this road at White Hill, is going to be drawn from the local community. You have already seen young people from this community working. I think we have at least 5 young people from this community already working on this project. And if need be, we will pull more from the community. But you're going to build your own road. White Hill people will build their own road as much as possible.
You may recall that White Hill Road broke away 9 years ago, forcing residents to use some steps as an alternative, which they complained have no lighting at night. Noting that people fall during heavy rains, they asked Dr. Springer about the possibility of temporary lighting until the road is finished.
Let me just empathize with you. I understand it's difficult having to traverse that breakaway section. We did what we could as a government to make it a bit less treacherous in terms of the installation of the steps, and certainly light would improve. At some point I would have secured some lights from the Barbados Light and Power, but that was only a temporary measure. The difficulty with us and installing temporary lights, our lights in that area, is that the security really. But I hear you, and really and truly the solution is to get the actual realignment of the road as quickly as possible so that we can move away from walking through that area altogether.
Deputy Chief Technical Officer Philip Tudor has outlined for the residents how the road works would be done to ensure it will last.
It's about 3 kilometers long, and the way the work is going to be done, we're looking after the drainage, we're looking after all aspects of the work, of the road work that will more or less assist the residents along here of getting a fully complete and safe road that will last, last for years to come.
A shot fired with deadly consequences in the United States has hit close to home for Cultural Ambassador Dr. the Most Honorable Anthony Gabby Carter. That shooting took the life of his 20-year-old grandson Darius Clark, who was gunned down in Queens during a daytime robbery at his workplace. Reports indicate that 3 people entered the store on Jamaica Avenue just after midday. A number of shots were fired and Clark was struck in the chest. Gabby says he was writing a song called Mass Murder in America for another artist when one of his daughters called and notified him of the incident. The veteran entertainer shared some of his fond memories of Darius.
Everybody like to say how my son was just a big daughter, but he was really a cool, quiet fella. He didn't talk much. You know, you knew how he felt about you by the way he looked at you or what he would do. He would rather do than say. So, you know, when he was here, I remember it was a day I said, geez, I want to go in the fridge and get this thing. And I didn't ask him. I'm going to get it. He said, Granddad, look, it's on the table. I said, wow. So you went and you heard when I was speaking? Yeah, it's all right. And that was it. He didn't talk much at all. So I was real happy. I didn't see him for 6 years. I was planning to go up there after my show to look for them because my show is on the 29th at 3.
Well, Gabby expressed his thanks to everyone who called from across the country and abroad to express their condolences. He has called for the end to gun violence.
People don't understand really lost like that. It's like really lost. Yes, and his grandmother died down here just a few years ago. Similar, so she just put down your gun, man, make this, and the man shot her. That I don't get his business. So it's like lost his grandmother, then you lose him, and a cousin of his got killed in the daylight on Tuesday. Same violence, same gun business. You always hear me talk. I wrote a song years ago called Gun Town for Miguel, and we're witnessing it today.
Well, that's more news, and now we have more news at 12 noon in the CBC News Day. Morning Barbados continues right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Today's Morning Barbados is sponsored in part by Troubadours International. Get ready for the Legacy Show on Saturday, March 25th at Halo Nightclub, St. Lawrence Gap, Christchurch. Sponsored by CBC TV 8 and 94.7 FM.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 10 minutes after 7 o'clock now. The Bridgetown International Arts Festival is on, and here on the island to be a part of it is a Mexican musician and director, composer, lead performer of Ideas Not Theories by the name of Renalise Herrera. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming over to Barbados. How has your stay been so far?
Actually, I'm heading to Barbados tomorrow.
Oh, you're coming here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still in, so I'm originally from Mexico, but I live in Boston in the US, so I'm still here and looking forward to traveling tomorrow.
Okay, you're coming in tomorrow for the Bridgetown International Arts Festival. And so, while you're here, you're also going to be hosting a series of clinics as well for some of the artists. I want to start there before we come around to your performance in just a little while. What would these clinics be about?
Yes, so basically the clinics are going to be about my original music. So I make music using a lot of unconventional instruments through my company, Ideas Not Theories. For example, a lot of what I do is I compose music and perform music using bicycles as instruments, as well as other things like water, tap and body percussion, sprayers, and more traditional drums and marimbas, etc. So in the clinic, you're gonna learn a lot more in depth about my music, my creative process. I'm gonna be performing a little bit. I'm gonna demonstrate like all the different sounds that you can get out of these instruments, and I'm gonna have audience members come and try the instruments, and I'll guide them how to play the sounds, and we'll like play a piece together, etc. So it should be fun.
There's so many instruments that we already know that have been created, whether it's the piano, the guitar, the flute, whatever. But you chose the bicycle. Why?
Yeah, I mean, So I always liked writing music for like found objects and unconventional instruments. I grew up in Mexico, and my mom is a dancer. So I grew up a lot of around a lot of like theatricality and like performing dance performances and stuff. I think that kind of inspired me to sort of like look outside of just the traditional setting of percussion. But for the bicycle itself, it was kind of random, like the idea, because so I was here in Boston. I had just finished my graduate degree here, and I was kind of like considering going street performing, like what they call it busking. And I was like trying to bring different instruments, and it was really hard to bring them like on the subway and all of that. And I'm also a cyclist, so I cycle. And at one night I was like, oh, why don't I just drum on my bicycle? And I don't need to carry anything. I got super excited, and then I became obsessed with the idea of playing.
So you clearly love percussion, and so that is exactly what you're going to be doing in your series of clinics. It's open to percussionists, people who see things and can hear the beat in everything. And so that's what it's going to be about. So you arrive in Barbados tomorrow. When do you plan to hold your clinic?
So the clinic is happening Thursday, March 23rd at 7 p.m. and Friday, March 24th at 7 p.m.
Okay, so this coming Thursday, this coming Friday at 7 in the evening, the clinic is on, looking at bicycle beats, how you look at that thing with two wheels, a handlebar, and I make music from it. And so that's what you do. Now, a lot of what you do, but you're also going to be performing for us in the Bridgetown International Arts Festival, a 15-minute piece as well, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about the creation of that piece, when you composed it. What were you thinking, and what the kind of spectacle we can see when you come on the stage to perform?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to perform at the festival my piece called Ideas Not Theories, Bicycle Beats, which is basically a solo piece I wrote for bicycle. So it's just a solo bicycle piece. And this one, I think different from my other bicycle pieces, is that it's gonna, I would say, more on the virtuosic side. So you're gonna see me kind of playing on basically all of the different sounds and parts of the bicycle. In different sections, you're gonna see there is a theatrical element to it also, some physical theater, physical comedy also, and well, the piece, I use, for example, the frame tube, the chain wheel, the spokes, the tire rim, the tires, sometimes seat, so all of these different sounds, and yeah, the way I create, actually this was one of my first bicycle pieces I wrote. I've written about 6 different pieces for bicycle, and this one was actually inspired on at the very beginning, on my busking. The ideas came from there, and then I developed it and formally kind of wrote it. But
can you imagine can you imagine a bicycle orchestra? You know, we can understand writing music for the steel pan. We get that. That's for us in the Caribbean. But I'm trying to figure out, how do you make a bass bicycle? How do you make a treble bicycle? You know, how do you get those notes to sound and be true? And how do you tune a bicycle to play treble, for instance? Have you gone through all of that when you're looking at the technicality of what you do?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. So I do, a lot of what I do, especially at the beginning when I first approached the bicycle, was to explore all the different sounds that I could find and sort of make an inventory out of it, catalog them. I actually write the sounds, I have a notation system for the sounds, and so it depends what piece I'm playing. But for example, in some pieces I do have a bass bike, which is a bigger bike where I use the big tires are some sort of bass sound. And for example, a road bike, I call it more of a soprano bike, because the frame, the tubes on the frame are, are very high pitch and kind of melodic. So kind of different types of bikes are a little bit different. And yeah, it depends on the piece, but I do think of those things, and I do research the sounds and sort of catalog them and all that.
I think this is going to be so spectacular, so much fun. So when are you planning, when is your performance slated for?
Yeah, so it'll be at the Bridgetown International Art Festival, as we said, on Saturday, March 25th, inside the event called Music is Life. I understand the performances go from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. And I understand the music is starting at 3 p.m. with the steel pan, youth steel pan. I'm guessing, I actually don't know my exact time, but I'm guessing after 3 p.m.
Right, right. On Saturday. On Saturday, that's when your performance is. But on Thursday and Friday, you're having your clinics, and we want to encourage as many percussionists as possible to be a part of your clinic, to look at a different way of approaching the things around us, to get the music out of them, and how to be able to play it out really in such a way that you become an act, a performance indeed. And so that's what you've been studying, and that's what you're bringing to the Bridgetown International Arts Festival this week. And so we can't wait to welcome you on to Barbados. We hope that you have a very safe trip down, and while you're here, that you thoroughly enjoy yourself. Would this be your first visit to Barbados?
First visit, yeah. I'm really excited.
Oh, wow. So what have you heard about us? I'm curious now.
I mean, I heard it's paradise. That's one of the things I've heard. I'm looking forward to learn more about your culture and like all the other performers there, like the musical styles and arts there, and obviously like enjoy the weather, because here is freezing in Boston.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy the weather. Trust me, you will enjoy the weather when you land here, indeed. Well, we're looking forward to welcoming you into Barbados, indeed, for the Bridgetown International Arts Festival. Renalise Herrera is her name. She's a Mexican Mexican musician and director, composer, lead performer of Ideas, Not Theories. She's bringing her bicycle beats. And so in her different clinics, she's going to teach you how to do so as well, and how to amplify your air and to find those different ways of approaching percussion in Barbados indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Barbados tomorrow, and enjoy yourself while you're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome indeed. And so we shall now give you an opportunity to hear for yourself and experience for yourself just what we were talking about in the bicycle beats. Take a look.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.com.
Take me high, like you never have before. I need you more and more. I need you in my life. Take me high. Yahweh came into my life. Yahweh came into my life. I I waited for so long. Take me high. Oh, he breaks that fallow ground. Plant my feet on higher ground. I need you in my life, El Shaddai. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Please come into my life. Take me high. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh.
That's Trevor Wilkinson. He's a singer, songwriter, he's a Barbadian, and now he's joining us. Good morning to you, Trevor. So Trevor's going to join us in just a little moment. He grew up singing in the church from the age of 12, and so he's migrated to North America. That's where he is, and so he is there still, and he has his own production company, Trevor Media Productions.
Yes.
And so he's written a song called Whatever You Want, Whatever You Need. Trevor, are you there? Good morning. And I can't hear him for the moment, but you just heard one of his songs and seen it too, because he does video and audio productions through his production company, Trevor Media Productions. And you just saw Yahweh, one of the three that we have so far. Yahweh, Nothing More, Nothing Less, and Whatever You Want, Whatever You Need. That sounds like a line from a song that we all know, but I don't know if it is a song that we all know. But we're going to hopefully get to speak with him in just a little while, as he today shares with us some of his works. Born in Barbados, migrated to the United States in 1984. A young man growing up in church, singing, and clearly from his production there, Yahweh, he's not moved at all far from his roots, his grounding in the church, as he praised Jehovah God Yahweh. And so he plays the guitar, he plays the keyboard, he plays the drum, and he's Trevor Wilkinson. Let's try again and let's see if we hear from him. Trevor, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
There you are. How are you doing, Trevor?
I'm good.
Great. Welcome to a brand new day. And so, Trevor, you've done a number of songs. One was Yahweh, which we just shared, and we saw you on your foot and walking the beaches of Barbados, beautiful white sand it is. How long have you been now in the music industry?
I started around 10, 12, 11, one day in the church, New Testament Church of God in Barbados. And I started to play the drums first in the church. And then the guy that plays in Promise right now, they call him Spicy. He played the guitar. He teach me a few chords on the guitar. And then I start listening to other musicians in Promise. S-Wit, he taught me a few chords also. And that's how I pick it up. But it's like around 12 or so I started playing instruments.
And so now you have your own production company, Trevor Media Productions. So what caused you to form your own production company?
I decided that I wanted to learn to produce my own production. Seeing that I sing, I write, play instruments, so I decided to get some money together and put together my own studio and put together my own production studio. And then I went to Art Institute of New York and learned a few things from the school.
Right.
And that's how I got started.
And so you've been producing a number of songs. Yahweh is one. You've also done Nothing More, Nothing Less. And so today now we want to share with folks your latest, which is Whatever You Want, Whatever You Need. Tell me a little bit about that song. Why that title?
Yeah, I was thinking about whatever you need, you could only God could supply your need. And when I was thinking about that, people tend to think that they could achieve certain things without seeking God first. But I believe if you put God first, then all the other things will follow you. So the inspiration came from that scripture, the scripture that says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all other things will be added onto you. So I came up with that concept, whatever you want, whatever you need, God will supply your needs. Yeah.
And so here it is now. This song is called Whatever You Want, Whatever You Need. As I was saying just before you joined, it sounds like words from another song, but that was famous by Shaka Khan, later by Whitney Houston. But nonetheless, you based it in the scripture that seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So you've been able now to put it all together. How do you describe your music?
How would I describe my music?
How do you describe it?
As inspirational, because I won't say it's like gospel music, because whatever comes to me at the time, whatever comes to me in my head, I just put it together right on the spot. So it could sound like gospel, it could sound inspirational. So that's why I always I won't categorize my music as one particular thing, Like nothing more, nothing less. I wrote that in 20 minutes. And that's why it's so sharp. I don't want to add too much to it to take the flavor away from it. So when I wrote the song and put the beat to it and everything, I just leave it like it is. And that was it for that song.
All right. So I am ready to hear your song today, ladies and gentlemen. For the very first time ever, anywhere, Trevor Wilkinson now performs for us Whatever You Want, Whatever You Need. Take it away, Trevor.
Whatever you want, whatever you need, whenever you pray, go on your knees. Oh, whatever you want, whatever you need, God will supply all your needs. Whatever you want, whatever you need, whenever you pray, down on your knees. Oh, whatever you want, whatever you need, God will supply all your needs. Oh, God won't let you down. He will always be around. Oh, God will never let you down. Call on your name. Oh, come on, call on his name. You got to call him. Come on, call on his name. Oh, God won't let you down. He will always be around you. God will never let you down. Oh, call on his name. Oh, you got to go on, call out his name. You got to call him, call on his name. Whatever you want, whatever you need, whenever you pray, go on your knees. Oh, whatever you want, whatever you need,
Trevor Wilkinson, whatever you want, whatever you need, God will supply all your needs. Just call on him. He'll be there every time. Trevor, well done. For those watching today who are thinking they want to get a copy of that, Trevor, how do they do so?
I didn't put it up yet. I have it on. You can see it on YouTube. On my YouTube page.
So it's on your YouTube page under your name, Trevor Wilkinson, or Trevor Media Productions?
It's on the page is on the Zayable, and is spelled Ziyahable, Zayable, and then you see my song.
There you see the songs. Indeed. Well done, Trevor. I want to thank you so much for joining us. I wish you every success with your continued ministry. Really, truly, that's what it is. Your inspirational songs that are continuing to impact lives across the globe. And I wish you well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Folks, that's the website to which you go, the YouTube page, Ziyahable. That's it right there, Ziyahable, Ziyahable. And you can find the music from Trevor Wilkinson, singer-songwriter Barbadian, having left here in 1984, still doing great work indeed. Morning Barbados takes a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Yes. Nothing more, nothing. 'Cause you reap what you sow, you will gain. Yes, you will.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment.
Good morning to you.
25 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock as we turn our attention to our relationship coach, Dr. Denise Charles. Dr. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you doing?
I'm great. As always, good to see you. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. Had a great weekend.
That's fantastic. I hope you got all the rest that you wanted. Now listen, last week we started this conversation at the language of love. And I know we spent a lot of time looking at the words because we've been taught how to either pick or not pick the right words to use when we're expressing how we feel. But oftentimes we have not been taught how to look at how we project ourselves to be in concert with the words that we use when we talk about love language. Let's talk a little bit about that today. How we look, how we do, the things that we can do to express the love we feel without having to use the words, all of those kinds of things. Where do we start? Understanding the nonverbal.
Okay, you're talking about, well, maybe two different things. All right, so it would be great if our words can match what we mean in our hearts. So when we're thinking about communicating love, we're thinking about a number of things. We're thinking about being creative with how we're able to convey how we feel. We're talking about being authentic about how we really feel, but we're also talking about the styles or the preferences that we have with respect to how we receive love, and therefore how we would perhaps prefer to show love. Because very often we have a preference. You know, the whole idea of love languages came from that idea that we all have a preference with which we would want to receive love, or with which we would want to feel that we are being loved on. And because we have that preference, we tend to also use that style, that thing that we prefer. We tend to use that style when we are showing love to someone else. But the problem comes when they may have a different preference, or they may have a different style. So if we're talking about communicating love and being authentic, that's one thing with respect to how we convey how we really feel in the relationship. Your partner may be doing something that you don't like, and you may be shutting it down. You may not be exposing how you really feel, but you may be acting towards them in a way which suggests that you're not quite pleased with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
You know, so yes, you know, so that whole thing about being authentic in your relationship is another conversation. But then there's the other issue of showing love or demonstrating love in a way that we feel comfortable with, because it's the way that we prefer.
You know, you're right. And as I was listening to you, I kept thinking, you know, if French is my preferred language, why are you speaking to me in Spanish? If you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so there's the confusion in communication right away, because we never took the time to realize who the recipient is and the preferred language of the recipient. So we should be able to communicate in the way that it is received as genuinely love.
Because we're not necessarily going around, Pearson, when we're in relationships, thinking these things out strategically.
Correct.
You know, and that's why we do relationship seminars, and that's why we do relationship sessions, and we do blogs and videos and so on, because we want to help people to engage with their relationship in a much more intentional way. Because, you know, we live life and we go along, we know we have a husband, we know we have a wife, we know we have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and yes, we are caught up in the rapture of the moment, perhaps when we initially get together, and then we know that we do love this person, but we're not necessarily attacking the relationship with a kind of purposefulness that we would want to see. You know, when you want to lose 20 pounds or you want to gain 10 pounds in the gym, you're very purposeful about what you do. You read up all about it and so on. And sometimes we don't approach our relationships with that same level of intentionality, but that is exactly what we need to do. And we make a lot of assumptions about our relationships based on our own experiences, based on our own frames of reference, based on our own preferences. So if for example, you know, I don't hold to necessarily one single love language. I think many of us have a mixture of them all. You know, we may want to be shown love in a tangible way, so we like receiving gifts and so on, but we also love acts of kindness. Who does not like an act of kindness shown towards them? You know, so we may have a mixture of the preferences in ourselves, but then when it comes to demonstrating that to someone else, we will tend to go with what we are comfortable with. We're going to assume, well, my partner likes exactly the same types of things that we like. And that is where it comes to getting to know your partner. Getting to know your partner is very, very critical, person, because we can't make assumptions. We have to try to find out what they like. And we can only do that through communication, through spending time with them, talking to them. And, you know, it may be a hit or miss. But I also say to people, you know, a couple was explaining to me recently, one individual was a bit disappointed at something that happened in the relationship around Valentine's. But, you know, I said that, you know, you have to be willing to receive what was given in the spirit in which it was given. So even if something is done for you by your partner and it's not exactly what you prefer, I think, you know, you should just embrace it and understand that that individual loves you and they're just trying to show you love in their own way.
I want to talk to some specifics now. Eye contact. Eye contact. You know, one of the things that we like to do a lot, I'm perhaps a little guilty of it sometimes. You know, I get busy at my desk, for instance, and I'm doing stuff, and somebody comes to talk to me and says, I'm listening to you. Your head down, still working. I'm listening to you. And sometimes that is misunderstood as though I am trying to say I'm not paying attention to you. And so eye contact is one of those things, distance, tone, pitch, a whole host of different things that we have to watch in a relationship as well. Let's walk through a few of those things to help some of those who are struggling with that nonverbal part of themselves.
Well, Pearson, you know, the nonverbal is sort of inadvertent because we're not necessarily aware of how our nonverbal is communicating a particular thing. But it is so much a part of who we are when it comes to communicating authentically how we really feel. But at the same time, the more in touch with ourselves we are, the more we can perhaps try to use those nonverbal cues a lot more purposefully. It takes a lot sometimes for people to use eye contact, even outside the context of an intimate relationship, whether in or out. Some people talk about the fact that people go to job interviews and they don't look the interviewer in the eye. Sometimes this is something that we're not quite accustomed to doing, particularly in our society when we raise our children a particular way. I think we're trying to raise our children to be a lot more assertive now, and to be a lot more focused, and to be able to speak to the camera and the microphone and that type of thing. And perhaps the age of social media, with all the videos out there and so on, may help that somewhat. But the thing about eye contact, they say the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yes, indeed.
So your eyes are really powerful communicators, and we have to be able to use our eyes to convey what we really want to say to someone. It can convey hurt, it can convey approval, they can convey disappointment, and then there are the things that we fail to say, and we might act in a particular way. We might push up our mouths, or our shoulders are held, our stance is held in a particular way. We don't have an open posture, before the person we're speaking to. We kind of turn away. We don't look at them because we're displeased.
Yes.
And sometimes your partner may not say exactly what they're angry about, but you know that something is wrong because of the way they're carrying themselves. So you say, what's wrong? What have I done? What's going on? And they haven't said anything, but it's the body language that is communicating it. So it has a part to play in a relationship. We can't get away from using our body language to convey how we really feel. And it's a powerful communicator in itself. But I think that nothing should replace words. Because sometimes we can make a wrong assumption. I can look at you and think you're angry with me, and you're not really angry with me. It is something that has happened to you at work. It is some memory, something that has been triggered in you, and you are responding to that thing and not necessarily to your partner. So if you fail to say what is really bothering you, you leave it up for your partner to make assumptions, and sometimes those can be incorrect assumptions. And then they get angry with you, and you're not really angry with them, So and it becomes a vicious cycle in terms of poor communication. So while we do, pay attention to non-verbal cues, we also need to recognize that it's very powerful to be able to use language and to use it accurately to describe how we're really feeling.
And you're quite right. We have to use both in concert, because both of them will have to convey the authenticity of the message. But we have been schooled so well in the nonverbal, it is just not funny. We know when somebody push up the mouth, what it means.
Yes,
we know
what that means.
The stoops, we know exactly what that means. We know when the finger is wide, what that means. And there's no doubt at all about it. But how then do we turn this negative around to something that's positive? How do we teach people? How do you, as a coach, teach people to understand the nonverbal language and how to use that to their best advantage?
How to use the nonverbal?
Yes.
But I don't think we have to teach people how to use the nonverbal. I think the nonverbal is so much a part of who we are. I find what we need to teach people is to use the verbal, because people aren't accustomed or comfortable using the verbal. We will push up our mouths, we will wag our fingers, we will distance ourselves, we will roll our eyes, we will do these things. Little children do them without being taught. It's almost a part of our human development. These are those cues that we grow into, like dancing is a natural rhythm. You ever watch the baby dance? Nobody needs to teach a baby to dance. So nobody needs to teach you to do these things. These things are very much a part of who we are and who we become. But I think what we more need to teach people to do is to be able to translate a lot of that into language, because there's something about words, Pearson, and I spoke about that last week, life and death are in the power of the tongue. There's something about language and there's something about words that are extremely empowering. I mean, when people are going through different things in their lives, one of the things we tell them to do is to journal. If there's someone you need to forgive in your life and that person has passed, unfortunately, or you are not in a position to speak to that person, or you don't feel comfortable speaking to that person, one thing we say to individuals, write them a letter. Write them a letter, write it down, even if you strip it up afterwards. But there's something about putting our feelings and our thoughts into words that is extremely empowering. It empowers us. It makes us feel a sense of freedom. I mean, we've done exercises where you have a group in a room, you're perhaps dealing or coaching or talking about a particular trauma or something, and you ask people to write words down on strips of paper and then tear them up in a basket or something like that. And it is extremely empowering. So language, whether we write it or whether we speak it, it somehow has the power to bring a level of release, to bring a level of empowerment. I think this is really where we need to teach people that it is okay, yes, to show those nonverbal cues. That's a part of who we are. But it is very much more empowering, I find, to be able to use your tongue, to be able to speak, to be able to tell people, well, you've done this thing to me and I really don't appreciate it. Or I really love the fact that you're always there for me. You know, sometimes we love people, but we don't tell them.
Yes.
You know, we don't tell people how we feel, and we've grown up in a culture where many of our parents weren't told, I love you. And therefore, it was very difficult for them to say it to us, I love you, even though we felt loved by them. And sometimes parents particularly don't understand why it is that some children or children seem to want to hear I love you, even though love is being demonstrated. We hear that in relationships too, because a lot of men say, well, I love you, I always show you that I love you, I don't need to say it. But we want to hear it.
Yes.
We want to hear that love. God tells us he loves us, and we definitely need to hear it from each other.
Indeed, the power of words, the power of words. But someone is whispering in my ears that action speaks louder than words.
Yes,
but words
you don't
are also
want
powerful.
empty words. You know, there's always a balanced person. You
Yes.
don't want empty words, so we can speak, I love you, I love you, I love you. But if you're not showing me anything, I'm not going to be convinced.
Correct.
So we want the words, but we also want the demonstration, because as that person rightfully said, love definitely is an action.
Indeed so. We ought to leave it there, Dr. Denise Charles. Of course, you can find her on social media. Look for her, Denise Charles, on social media, and you can reach out to her.
And Pearson, on Twitter,
yes.
I am Speak Right. You know, I was talking about speaking just now. I am Speak Right, SPEAKWRITE. Speak Right.
Speak Right. RWRITE.
That's my Twitter handle.
Yes, Speak Right. Okay, so find her there. And you get it all worked out indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Charles. Thank you.
Thank you, Pearson.
Indeed. Dr. Denise Charles, our relationship coach, walking us through the dynamics of communication and how we can effectively use communication to our benefit in our relationships. Hope you followed. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we are going to write right in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Today's Morning Barbados is sponsored in part by Troubadours International. Get ready for the Legacy Show on Saturday, March 25th at Halo Nightclub, St. Lawrence Gap, Christchurch. Sponsored by CBC TV8 and 94.7 FM.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 9.5 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We are so excited today to celebrate the 3rd anniversary with her. LaShawna Griffith is her name. She's the Chief Executive Officer of Right PR Services. LaShawna, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Now, a lot of the folks who you've met here on Morning Barbados are because of her. This young lady right here, Right PR Services. No, it's 3 years.
Yes, please.
And when I cast my mind back 3 years ago, it was 2020.
Yes,
We're talking pandemic.
Yes.
Yet you formed Right.
Yes, please.
What is it about the pandemic that spurred you to form Right?
Well, in the pandemic, I had the idea that I wanted a business that focused on ensuring that businesses, especially small startups, micro enterprises, can have an entity that does public relations for them, but at an affordable cost. Because, like I always say, those persons are investing in a dream, and I wanted them to be able to afford to invest in a dream, but then see tangible returns. So that's really how the company was birthed.
But you are And I mean, that's such a brilliant idea. At the time you saw the need, you met the need, and now 3 years later, you're still going.
Yes.
But it has not always been an easy journey.
No. You know, it had its challenges because obviously when you start a company, you know, you have to figure out employees, you have to figure out how you're going to get this business to grow, and also you have to get the public of Barbados to buy in to what it is that you're selling. And I found that over the years, persons were so pleased with the results that they got for just investing a very low amount that, you know, we've gone on now to work with non-governmental organizations and governmental organizations and some of the major players in the corporate industry as well. So I found that just by having that passion and that dedication and that appreciation for what we do here at Right PR Services, persons have just loved us.
But this platform has also put you onto a different kind of stage. I know you've been working through with HERMAB and all the different organizations. Talk to me a little bit about what it meant for them to tap you on the shoulder and says, we want you.
Oh, wow. Julie Turney is an amazing human being, and I would have worked with her behind the scenes, assisting with writing her press releases for Disrupt HR. And last year, I made it a goal to myself, you know, after I lost my dad, that I wanted to just go and say yes to everything, right? Because one of the things he told me is that you should live life like it was your last day on earth. And I was like, you know what? So then when it came around and she had the speakers, I was like, okay, I can sign up. Let's see what happens. And then I went on, and I must say that was an amazing experience. I was so nervous. Despite all the talking I do, I was so nervous. It was also my birthday. Yes. So, and I did my presentation on public relations and human resources, how it is a perfect marriage. And I had the whole wedding entrance as though I was getting married, because persons don't realize there's a symbiotic relationship between your public relation and your public image and your human resource management, because two of them go together. If the persons in the business do not understand what the ethos of the business is, then it leads to problems not only with hiring and firing, but with the public image of the company. So if they don't understand what it is that the company does, when someone stops them and they're in a shirt and they say, what you companies do? Well, I know, right? You don't want them to say that. You want them to be, oh my God, CBC is the best thing, you know? And
which is true.
Yes. And that is something that I wanted to put over when I did Disrupt HR, and I was actually one of the youngest persons to do that. Yeah.
And I was so immensely proud of you. Still immensely proud of you to this day. But when you stop for just a moment, this is 3 years in the business that you do, Right PR Services, and you reflect on the younger Lashana in school. Did you see then that you would be where you are today, doing the kind of work you do?
I always knew that I would end up writing. I never knew the many different ways that I could write, right? See what I did there?
I get you, right?
Because when I was in school, I was always gifted with words.
Right.
I always had this natural ability to just enjoy writing, from short stories, then from 2 poems, then writing books. Then I must thank Kmar Jordan. She took a chance on me because I had, you know, just mass comm at Cape at a grade 2. But she took a chance on me, bringing me to Barbados today to be a freelance journalist. And I sucked everything up like a sponge.
Yes.
And then I realized in 2019 that I wanted to do more than just write news. I wanted to really connect with people and assist them with changing their lives, and that was something I could no longer do from behind a desk. So I kept telling our creative and technical director at Kim Chandler Press, I was like, I want to start my own PR company.
Yes.
And his response was, when you want to start?
Do it. Just do it.
So I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and then March 2020, I was like, okay, I want to do this business, but I have no name. And I was talking to someone, and they said, "You hear what I say? Right?" And I was like, "That's it.
That's it. That's it. Right there.
That's it."
Indeed.
Because Bajans say often,
yeah.
And then too, it's something that rolls off the tongue. It's something that you remember. You may not remember the bottom part, PR services, but you're like, "Daddy, girl, right.
Correct, right. And so here it is now, 3 years later, and I mean, time is so against us at the moment. But for anyone who wants to reach out to you, I really sincerely want to thank you for working with us on Morning Barbados as well. So how can they contact you?
Okay, so they can send us a DM to our page, right? That's WRITE. RIGHT PR Services 246 on Instagram, or they can give us a call at 572-1993 or 843-8093.
If you have it right there on your screen, take a look. That's right with LaShawna Griffith. She's the engine of it indeed, and so she can make it happen for you. Welcome to the PR Services indeed. You will see the tremendous benefits. Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to even more coming from you from right indeed. You're welcome indeed. Well done indeed. She is to be celebrated indeed. LaShawna Griffith, the Chief Executive Officer of Right PR Services, and they're celebrating their 3rd anniversary this year, and so we want to encourage you to take up their services. We're taking a break here on Morning Barbados. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Before we go, let me remind you, tomorrow is Rock Your Sock Day. Tomorrow is World Down Syndrome Day. And we want you to certainly today get your colorful socks, multicolored, made them as pretty as possible. Mix, match if you absolutely have to. That's okay tomorrow. And so we want you to rock your socks tomorrow. Take your photographs and you will send to us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. There you go. That's right. There are in Sheraton Mall. They're also in Sky Mall. They're all over the place. That's a wide range of socks. That's how multicolored it is. Be fashionable. We're rocking your socks tomorrow. And let's mark that day in a very significant way. Send us your photographs. Flood us with them. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. We look forward to having your support. Thank you all. Thanks to my producer Nadia Foster, technical director Roel Ford. Sound has been Michael Sobers, master control Tamisha Green, and makeup technician Joanna Jones. Thank you all. We wish you a wonderful today. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.